what's up, guys? Welcome to the Keeping Up with the Kardashian recap. This is Kardashian Hulu. What is this? Season 4, episode 6, I believe. Y'all, they really tried it. Khloe tried it. Kim tried it. But what else is new? I was like Kourtney, just saying, yo, I'm ready for a nap. Or maybe they all are. So it opens with Kylie slinking into the room. I don't understand Kylie and her use of sexuality at odd times. Like, even when she steps into the room to say hello to her sisters, she's sauntering, kissing them ever so seductively. And even though her sisters are like, what's up, Kylie? What's going on? What's up, G-Way? And my friend, Kaiser Vip, but you know we be anyway, right? And I'm just like, oh, God, here we go. So they're all together because they need to have a scene about Khloe's talking about Kris wants to take the girls to a farm. Khloe's like, I don't know if I trust her. Khloe, shut up. She become mother of the world. Shut up. Worry about your own children or the ones that are going to be coming. Just saying, Amari's not going to be the only person that shares Tristan blood that you are going to be taking care of. As much as Khloe is mad that Jordan Craig exists and mad that Mara Lee, Nichols, and Theo exist, baby, the only thing Tristan can do even more to humiliate you is to make you raise a child that he created while cheating on you. Ooh, let me not put that on Tristan's to-do list because he'll be like, yeah, right, TT, right? You know Tristan with his fake Valley Girl accent. Anyway, right? They're all really called together because Kim wants everybody to know that she got a job on American Horror Stories, which, by the way, is still flopping. But Kim wants us to know that she's worked hard for everything she's gotten. Hence, you know how hard she worked? There was a dinner party at her mama's house. She didn't even want to go, but she decided to show up. And Ryan Murphy was there and said, please, please, please do it. I'll even write a role for you. Wow, way to go with that hard work. Kim then says that she's almost done with law school. Girl, you've been in law school for the last how many years? Literally going on 5 years. She's almost done with law school. She only has 3 or 4 more classes to take. She can bang those out in 10 months. How are you going to be filming more? You know what? Enough with Kim's lies. You're not in law school. There are 3 or more courses that your Barberry tutors need to take you over. Kim has not passed the bar. I don't think that she can pass the bar. I'm betting that she can't. I think this law school thing is just another ego stroke. Even how when she went in law school, she's the best student ever. She got the highest grades. Her test answer was added in to the actual model answers for the test. Anyone that went to law school or knows that law school person knows everything Kim just said was a lie, and it sounds like all cap. Anyway, Kim is sitting there in front of her sisters saying, I'm law school, I'm going to pass that, I'm going to be doing Ryan Murphy. Girl, fantastic. And that's great for her. But you are choosing to put all this on your plate. But then you want to complain that you don't have time for your kids. That sucks, Kim, but welcome to real life when people cannot do everything without something suffering. And the thing is, Kim, that why nobody feels sorry for her. It's not like, oh my God, I have to pay bills or I got to do this or if I don't do that. No, you're already a billionaire. You have passive income. At this point, you are choosing to step outside of the house for career goals, but then you crying about how, what? Your kids feel like they don't have enough time with you. You're crying that your kids want you to read a book. I mean, let's move on to Kim and her basically, I will say one thing about Kim. And congratulations, you turned yourself into a Nepo baby and you didn't even come from money. Congratulations. Yes, Robert Kardashian was a lawyer, but they weren't wealthy. So congratulations on becoming the first self-made Nepo baby alive. Let's move on. Kim then says, anyway, you guys, and Kourtney just is looking at her and then she's like, oh, so busy. I think I need a nap. Kim gets so upset. So then Kim's like, anyway, I'm just really excited to get out of Calabasas. By that, I mean, I think she's trying to say she's happy to be getting away from the kids. And everybody's like, who? What? You're never home enough to even say you're in Calabasas. Well, let's let you know that Kim's storyline of being about the ultra best mom in the world is all cap. Baby, the nannies raise your kids just like Kanye did. And there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of rich people are raised by nannies. Kim's issue is you are trying to look like just so perfect. It's weird. It's pathology at this point. Let's move on. So Kim and Kourtney have made up, and Kim is once again downing Kourtney, talking about, Kourtney's the person I go to when I want mom advice. Yeah, that's right. And she's like, I was like driving and it took an hour and a half to get North in the car. This is Kim's horror story. Girl, why don't you just call her real mommy, the nanny, and ask her to put her in the car? And like she was giving me such a hard time. I'm in the car and I'm just driving, looking ahead, just crying, and nobody can tell that I'm crying. Kim, if you are literally breaking down in tears because you're arguing with North and the kids don't listen to you, do you think you can skip out on American Horror Story and just stay at home for your kids, especially since you just let us know this wasn't a dream you had. You weren't looking forward to it. Ryan Murphy hired you to do stunt casting. You said, yeah, because you're like, why not? Another ring on my fingers like Thanos, but it wasn't like a pressing love, passion thing that you always wanted to do. So why wouldn't you just sacrifice that? This is the weird part about Kim's pathology. Make priority for things you think are important, unless you really don't think it's important and you're just crying that you don't think that they give you enough credit for doing what you are doing. Anyway, right? So Kourtney, she's like, she's like, and then it's raining and I'm crying and Chai can't tell I'm crying. Excuse me, I want to ask everybody in the real world, because Kim lives in a reality. Has there ever been a time when you were a kid that your mommy was sad, breaking down and or crying that you didn't notice? Now, you might not have cared because you were a kid, but did you ever know your mommy to be sad and not know that she was sad? I think most kids can pick that up. And the fact that Kim is telling the story, which doesn't make sense, and if she truly believes it, then she's like, and Chai said, Mommy, I got to go potty. Oh, no, not a little kid says they have to go to the bathroom. And it was raining, and Kourtney's like, why don't you just pull over? And she's like, it's raining. What do you want me to do? And Kourtney's looking at her like, Chai, go to the bathroom herself or get wet in the rain? Just get the kid wet. Like, Kim, what? I'm confused if it's that bad. So she was like, and then I took Saint on this trip and nothing's ever good enough. And North was like, how dare you take Saint? Don't get alone time. And Kourtney was like, well, have you thought of just doing something little with North? It doesn't need to be like a trip around the world. Maybe just have a private dinner or something where you just spend time alone with them. And Kim's like, And it's like, Kourtney, you don't get it. Kim doesn't tell these stories because she wants advice. Kim tells a story because she wants two things. She wants people to be like, oh my God, Kim, how do you do this? You must be so stressed out. And she also wants people to be like, wow, Kim, you're an amazing mom. Kourtney, you're not under. And the thing is, Kim's like, looking at her like, yeah, you're not getting the point. Kim doesn't want constructive feedback. She just wants people to tell her that she is amazing and doing nothing wrong and everything right. So then Kim goes on to say how her and Kourtney's parenting styles differ. Kim gets frazzled. She doesn't have any patience. She's more like, go to after bed. This is Kim's words. It's 10 o'clock. Why are you still up? And then she looks at Kourtney. She's like, I mean, that's completely different from what you do, Kourtney. And Kourtney laughs like, yeah, Kim, see, that's the problem. And why nobody feels sorry for you. That is how most working moms are and single moms are, because you are so frazzled, because you have a million things pulling you in a million different directions. And unlike you, Kimberly, you don't have a choice to do it, right? Because if you don't get up and go to work, bills won't get paid. Most single moms, if they don't get up and do something, it won't get done. So they have the weight of the world. Kim, you literally are frazzled because you keep accepting these things because you need your ego stroked, and you're frazzled and you're wondering why your kids won't fit into your schedule. Y'all, I'm waiting for the tell-all from North and Saint because I know it's coming. Then she starts talking about how North is dragging her. You heard it about being at Kanye's house, saying Kanye's house is so much better. There's no nanny. Yeah, Kim. When they say there's no nanny, they mean when they see their dad, they're actually spending one-on-one time with their dad. And you notice how this dad doesn't get the one-on-one. They're all together, because it's weird the way, to me, Kim is raising her kids to be competitive with each other and triangulate so that they're jealous of what the other one. And I understand all kids at a certain point, but it's weird the way it's like she wants them all to kind of be like, no, this is my time and my mom. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like when you're raised in a big family, yeah, you want your parents' attention, but you're also fine just all hanging out. Then they're just like, there's no chef. We get to make oodles and noodles. Yeah, Kim, all the trappings you're giving your kids. And this is why Kim's so upset. All the excuses you're using on why you're not giving them time. Well, who's going to pay for the nanny and who's going to pay for the chef and who's going to take over the big house? And the kids are like, I don't care about any of that. Can I see you? And I'll make oodles and noodles. Bet. So then Kourtney's like, yeah, I know. The kids are like that with Scott. Like, you know, the vibes are odd. Scott's house is better. This house is too big. But she was like, but what was a game changer is that I make pancakes for the kids every single morning. And since I've been doing that, it's been a game changer. The kids feel my love. They feel my attention. They feel my energy. You know, Kim just looked at her like she was crazy. And then Kim's like, but then one's going to want a smoothie. And then Kourtney was like, okay, but then have them make it. Like, but they love that we're sitting down at the table together. So then the producer's like, which one of you is more like your mom in terms of raising kids? And Kourtney was just like, and Kim was like, me, definitely me. And she looks so proud to say that. And Kourtney just looks down because we know how Kourtney feels about her mom raising them and just being completely unattentive and focusing on business. So then Kim starts saying she's a lot like Kris Jenner because Kris Jenner was always gripping them up and being like, you better get over here now, with no patience and growling at them and whatnot. And she's like, and I don't put the hands on them, but ooh, I want to. And then Kourtney's like, yeah, I used to be like that too until I did the work and learned I was passing on generational curses. Kim ain't like that at all. But anyway, Kourtney is tired of hearing Kim whine. And she was like, you know what? Why don't you take a nap? And she's like, I mean, I would, but my kids. And she's like, no, literally take a nap. Again, Kim, you don't need this money. You don't need to be chasing this. Why are you doing it? The law school, I don't even think that's one of her passions. Okay, we'll get into that. But you can say, okay, I've always wanted to be a lawyer because my daddy. Okay, fine. The entrepreneur, the this, the that. Kim, you just said you had zero interest in acting and Ryan Murphy begged you to do it. Why did you take the project if you're so stressed out? Let's move. So then Khloe stops by Kourtney's house. They're in Palm Springs, all of them. And I guess they have a compound where they each have a house next to each other. She stops by Kourtney's house with the person that she's learning not to love, Tristan. And Tristan is showing up half naked. He is so gross. He's just gross. There is something gross about Tristan, vulgar, just disgusting. The way he has no shame, and you know Kourtney doesn't mess with you, and she's made it no secret she doesn't mess with you. And you're showing up to her house with fake smiles, half naked, right? And this is the weird part. The energy that he's giving off to Penelope is just weird. Like, I don't know. They should have cut the scene because they're really, I don't know if it's something unsaid. I don't know if I'm reading into it, but they're treating Tristan like he is the biggest creep. And maybe Penelope feels creeped out by him for a reason. If you get, I don't know. I don't want to say that, but it's a weird scene. It's weird. It's weird. And it makes me feel uncomfortable. And it makes me, the way he's around Penelope and Kourtney, it makes me feel uncomfortable. But I'll be honest with you, and this is my opinion. And I hate to say this, but Khloe just reminds me of the type of person I've read about. I've never met anybody like this in person, but I've read about it in newspaper articles that will let the man they want do anything they want in their life to anybody and still stand by that man's side. So, yeah. Okay, let's get into the scene. Let's move on. Take it for what it is. Ugh, I'm getting grossed out. Let's get to the scene. Okay, so Tristan also is evil. He gives narc vibes because he inserts himself when you know someone doesn't mess with you. You know Kourtney doesn't like you, and you know Kourtney's home is the haven, and you know he's not messing with you. She's not messing with you, and he's like, "Hey, can I get a tour of the house?" Walking around in no shirt on, sneakers, just looking. Ew, he's so vulgar. Like, just yucky. So anyway, I'm telling you, I know what you're saying. Okay, who cares if he has his shirt off? But you have to see the way he's standing, the way he's looking. It's just, I don't know. I think he thinks he's a bad bee. The only person that thinks you're a bad bee is the girls that got suckered into having kids with you and right now Khloe. And even them, they know that you're nothing but a bee. Scratch out the bad part. So anyway, if you don't realize, Khloe's like, listen, I'm happy to let Tristan be the father he wants to be. But at this point, and now I get why he's pushing this, because you know that he hasn't been seeing Prince. And you're low-key delighting in the fact that even though Tristan is abandoning all his other kids, he wants to be a part of you and True's life. Girl, ask yourself why that is. Ask yourself, a man that's abandoned every child he has, why he's so interested. Ask yourself why your unemployed basketball player whose mama just got him your mama just got him a job on ESPN when he thought that he had no more income coming in. Ask him why he cares so much about being up yourself, Khloe, but you won't because you're not ready for those talks. Anyway, Kourtney starts rushing them through the rooms. This is the fastest. She probably saged that whole place when Tristan left, okay? Mind you, Khloe's like, he wants to be the father, but I'm like, Dream's not even here. I'm sorry, not Dream. True's not there. The kid's father is not around. So why are you with the father? Why he got his shirt off? Y'all literally are living together. You are together. I'm 100% sure they're still engaged. Khloe is the biggest dummy in the world, and she's evil because you literally help support a deadbeat dad. And y'all can fight me on this, but I'm always going to believe that. 10 toes down. You ain't ish, and Tristan's your karma. So you know what? Like I've said before, Khloe, I love that for you. Okay. So anyway, Khloe's talking about he's just playing father. How is he playing father to Dream and he don't even see his own kids? Khloe is so dizzy. You don't even realize that you're digging a grave for yourself because Tristan is going to abandon you and those kids also. And you're going to be crying on season 10 if they renew this mess on Hulu about how he abandoned you and ain't paying child support. I know you think you got Tristan on lock, but please believe he's taking notes and he's also hiding assets from you. Coco, the clown. Let's move on. So Khloe says something really interesting that I think is disgusting. She says, Penelope has these feelings toward Tristan. First of all, why does she even know what's going on? Honestly, even Kourtney saying something to Penelope, but that's her. But Khloe, she's like, but you know what? I want Penelope to have these feelings. I want her to feel this way because I'm not going to invalidate her feelings. Let me get this straight. One, sounds like you want Penelope to fight your battles. It sounds like you want everybody to hate Tristan except you because you want Tristan to have a soft place with you to land, and you want Tristan to feel isolated, and you want everyone else to treat Tristan mean except the person who he did wrong. You're the soft place. Why? Why do you have Penelope fighting your battles? Because you a weak bee, Khloe, and you always were. You know it. I think it. Tristan definitely proves it. Anyway, and she was like, I don't want to talk her out of these feelings. Okay. And she's like, because it's not good to allow somebody to let you treat this way. And I want her to know that. Khloe, you go to a million therapists, I would assume. And they all tell you that children lead by example, not what you tell them. You are teaching True to the extent that you're around Dream. When Dream sees it, you're treating Tatum. You're teaching everyone around you how to be a weak bee, please. Anyway, let's continue. She said, because Tristan's behavior, I don't want this to be something I'm validating or something I'm justifying. He lives with you. He lives with you. He lives with you. You have him in Palm Springs on a family outing for no reason. He was not in Palm Springs last year. I'm sick of Khloe playing in our faces. I'm sick of this. Listen, we all have dumb friends. We might have all been dum-dums at one point, but Khloe's a special type. She really is. Khloe, you are insufferable. Ugh. Anyway, we go to a cute scene with Kim and North. North is cooking. Kim's like, can we call the chef? And North is like, no, we're doing this ourselves. Kim says, okay, well, I'm going to stick to what I'm good at. frying chicken. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to go down that road because all the Kardashians learned how to feed their rapper boyfriends, right? Um, listen, then we get on to they're like, Kim, what do you think? I mean, they were like, North, what do you think about what your mom does? And she was like, what does she do? You should have saw North's face. She was eating an onion. She's like, what does she do? Like what? Ready to drag Kim. And she's like, like she helps people and prisoners. And she's like, oh yeah, that's good. But this lets me know Kim's cap about studying hard, North seeing her pass the bar, all this stuff. It's all cap because when they actually press North about what you feel about what your mom does, she was like, what does your mom do? North doesn't see you do anything, which lets me know two things. You're either not around, or when you are around, you ain't doing anything but just getting glam and all that other stuff, which isn't to say it isn't a job. But Kim, come on, be serious. Come on, can we be serious? Anyway, Kim goes into her thing about how she feels so good helping people. I don't want to hear it. Kim, you're a billionaire. If you're really about prison reform, we already know that you just hijack cases. You outshine everybody as long as you can get the publicity. You literally did a true crime podcast where the victims are still alive and said that is the mofo that Bang Banged us. Like, it's ridiculous to me. And at the end of the day, no, I'm not giving somebody clout that I feel uses people that are incarcerated in an unjust prison system as something they use whenever election time or whenever they need to rehab their image. It has not escaped my attention that Kim Kardashian, as much as she talks about prison reform and all this stuff and equality, you are single-handedly trying to, one, rehabilitate Ivanka Trump's image, right? With all that stuff that comes at it, but also you're literally cozying up to the Republicans again because another election cycle's coming. Kim Kardashian has the same politics as Caitlyn Jenner. And honestly, if she does, which I think she does, that's her business. My issue with Kim and a lot of the Kardashians they are very conservative, right-leaning. They uphold policies and support policies that hurt people that look like not only your children, but your children's family, right? And you hide it. You hide your hands. You try to act like you're liberal. You try to act, no, it's literally, you guys liberal fish. If you are very Republican leaning, that is fine, but claim that mantle and stop lying to everybody. My issue is the faking and the lying and exploiting and people's emotions and beliefs for whatever trend you think it is. But as much as people are happy that Kim's coming out as a conservative, you'll see, and you guys will see. Anyway, we go up to Kris's office. She's actually taking Stormy and True to the ranch. I'll say one thing. They all have really, really adorable grandchildren. Khloe pops up because she needs a storyline. She can't talk about Tristan, that diggity dog she got there, bonding with her family, right? So she has to talk about she doesn't trust her mom to take them to the ranch by themselves. But you trust Tristan to be father to dream? I can't. I'm disgusted, as you guys know. True is so happy to see her mom. And I'll say one thing. True loves her mommy like every little girl. Khloe is a very, very involved mom. Too bad she is the worst example ever. And as much as she says, if somebody treated True like that, I would castrate them. Yeah, but baby, do you not realize you're writing the blueprint for what True accepts? But it could go two ways. Either True is never gonna date a ninja like her daddy, or she gonna date somebody even worse. Let's pray that God bless her, because we all know she won't need her. Anyway, Kris takes them to the petting zoo. Khloe shows up because it's been a while since my mom took care of kids. Girl, stop. This is so stupid. The kids are eating popsicle. Khloe rides a horse. And Khloe's like, no, I just have like trust issues with my mom. This is lame. Khloe, you need a new storyline. We want to know why that 6 foot whatever mofo is walking around your sister's kitchen who can't stand him shirtless with a pair of bobby socks thinking he the baddest bee in Palm Springs, but you're saying that you're only together for True, but True ain't in the scene. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so then Malika, odd pairing, and Kim are going to a prison because they're going to make a difference, y'all. wearing more in clothes than most people wear in 3 years. They are so tone deaf and insensitive. Malika gets on my nerves. Like, Malika is the female Corey Gamble, shucking and jiving, doing the thing, and I'll leave it at that. Wait, what was that? Did you hear that? It sounds like a raccoon is going around in the trash. Did you guys hear a raccoon? Those coons. Anyway, right? Raccoons are everywhere. But I digress, right? She's like going with Kim because they care about people in prisons and what do you call it? Vulnerable populations. So the first thing Malika says is, I don't know, I'm really scared. Kim then has to explain to her, this is Malika Justice Champion. Kim then has to explain to her, you know something's wrong when Kim Kardashian has more common sense to you. It's like, no, the warden explained, like, you're really safe. Like, nothing's going to happen. Like, what do you think? She's taking you into season 3 of Oz at a BC. You're going into General Pop. Malika disgusts me. Just like Khloe. You know what? Let's continue because I can't. But then Kim's like, yeah, Malika, I just want to tell you what to expect. Like, when you go in there, you think all this stuff, but you're going to be dealing with people that, like, I know somebody that was in there for 25 years and then got released because they were because they were innocent. So, like, you can't go in there because a lot of people face stigmas because people think, and you can't expect because they're actually really nice people. I don't want to say that all Black people know people in prison because that's not true. And it's not everyone's reality. I do want to say that, Malika, you are Black and you should be aware historically that are they Black? Or like, you should be aware historically, if you are actual Black American ADOS, that there are plenty of people that are profiled, that are picked up, that get the book thrown at them, even though they didn't do anything, but still a packet of Skittles. So I would think as a Black American experience, you would know not to judge someone based off of things they've done necessarily, unless it's certain types. But the fact that we know that there are a lot of innocent people, and I don't think this is a Black American experience. I think anyone that's grown up in the 20th century knows the way Black and brown people are, the way they're profiled, the way they're picked on, the way they are treated unjustly. And it's disgusting to me that Kim is explaining this to Malika, why Malika tries to act stupid like she can't relate. Girl, that's why you another Khloe, but let's go. That's why your whole, you know what? I'm going to be nice, but her whole life is based around being Khloe Kardashian's pet. And this is the same woman that Khloe had on a dog leash for Halloween. She was the pimp. Malika was the ho, ho, ho. Let's keep going. So Malika's sitting there trying to act like she's Malibu's most wanted. Kim's like, Malika's saying like she's scared to go and she doesn't want to be there. And she says, is that normal? And he was like, oh, I mean, they're meeting the guy that runs this program. And I understand why he's doing it. He wants more exposure. And he was like, I mean, maybe I was nervous the first time. And she's like, okay, thank you, Malika, this fake Valley girl. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Like, we know who your baby's father is. OG Genesis, I'm in love with the Coco. We know the gutter trash that you and Khloe were being passed around with when y'all were on tour with 50 Cent. Y'all, how are you scared to go to a penitentiary, but you used to brag about like having trains run on you guys about with all the dope boys on the 50 Cent tour? Like, make it make sense. This whole like reimagining your prim proper girl, save that mess for the country club. You and Khloe. And then the guy's like, don't be scared, because when you see the hope you give these people, because like nobody like a Kardashian comes out here, y'all, I felt like smacking him, because at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I guess that's the way in America we treat vulnerable populations, and the prison population is a vulnerable population. It's just disgusting to me to hear about people that are actual humans as if they're going to be starstruck and all they have to do is show up because they will give hope. What about helping the families? What about helping the communities? What about donating the money you spend on the mess in your closets? Again, I know people can be like, oh my God, they're not obligated to do anything. They're not. But do you realize that they're using this for a storyline? Do you realize they use this for social, like they use this for capital? They're not doing this out the kindness of your hearts. I hate to tell you guys how PR and IP and intangibles work, but they're doing this because like it's money for them, right? They get the storyline. They look like such great people. Every billionaire wants to look like they're nice people. Malika's sitting there acting like, oh my God, I'm scared, when you literally got trains ran on you. Like, I'm just done, right? And then like all this stuff. And like at the end of the day, if you are going to, let's just say the word, profit from these people, then you don't feel any responsibility to give back. Your whole thing of giving back is what? Having them on the show. Did you even make a donation? Did you help anybody's family? Yeah. You know, again, you're not obligated to help, but don't say you're going to help and then come through with some half bull manure. So they're back in the car after the visit. I guess Malika and Kim see these people as human now. And then they're like, it killed me that they were in cages and like, you know, they were treated as animals. And that is the sad truth. And it was a very, very touching and moving scene. Not because of anything they did, they made me sick, but because that is the reality of many poor people, Black, white, brown, Asian, Native, Indigenous, whatever you want to, race you want to insert. That is the American justice system. And it's very, very sad, very cruel, very unforgiving. But, you know, that field trip to see those people ended with Malika and Kim feeling like good people and then never going back and us not hearing anything about it. So yeah, I mean, again, I guess that is living in America. Yeah, I guess that's living in America. Let's move on, shall we? Okay, so then the gentlemen, they're all sitting at people that used to be in Pelican Bay, and they're telling them all their stories like, you know, my sentence was commuted, I was unjust, blah, 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 blah. This is what's going on in my life. And it's some really heartwarming stories. And Kim interrupts. So I just want to ask, like, what was your first meal? Because my mind keeps going back to this. What was your first meal when you got out? Anyway, then she's like, also, it's not my first time, but it's Malika's first time. So she's like, but you know, I just want to say, and I'm like, what is Kim going to say? Please have her well researched. Because Kim, she said, you know, I just look at what everybody's been through. And I just ask, like, how can we fix this problem? Like, everybody has like this cyclical problem, this cyclical cycle of fixing the way they grew up and how to break it. Everybody at the table looks at her like, have you lost your MF and mind? They are literally offended, but they're trying to play cool, you know? And the way you guys grew up and the gangs and your influences. So how do we break this cyclical cycle of how to do it? You're asking the prison inmates, how do we break the cycle of 1, generational curses, 2, institutionalized racism, 3, poverty in America? Because as much as you might want to be like, oh, well, just don't do bad things and you won't go to jail. Anybody that's actually studied an ounce of prison reform knows that there is a school to prison pipeline in every major city. Those schools are in low socioeconomic communities, people that have a low socioeconomic background, poor, poverty. There are whole papers, and not just one, but basically anyone that's educated in the industrial prison complex, the school to prison pipeline, generational poverty, institutionalized racism, and all this, and racism in the justice system will let you know that yes, everybody does have a little bit of personal responsibility, but these problems, you cannot look to the victims of this and say, how do we change this? Kim ain't ish for saying that. She is so stupid and not well read. Even the way you didn't want to say generational, you cyclical cycles. Like, let's move on, shall we? She was like, but how do you do that? Dealing with the gangs and getting involved in doing bad stuff and having parents that aren't there. Like, where do we find the answers? So the one guy that's looking at her like, no, she didn't. It's like, yeah. So we're dealing with this on the other end of the pipeline, because he's even referencing that there is a prison pipeline in America. Once they, you know what? I'm not going to get into it because it's too much to get into, but just Google the prison pipeline and you will have more education than dumbass. So he's like, you know, you want to talk about like people getting out prison and not returning, but we're looking at how to stop the flow in, right? Not out and keep them out, but the flow in, because that's the problem. And he was like, and how you make sure they never flow in is by investing in the community, investing in lifting people out of poverty. As much as people in America want to be super, super cruel about like, oh my God, only bad people go to jail. No. I will say one thing that's true in America, and you could argue with me, there's been a million papers written about it, and every thinking person that is an eminent scholar on the subject will agree. Poor people go to jail. Poor people are prosecuted. And if you are poor and you got color in your skin, baby, it's a wrap. It literally is like Russian roulette. It really honestly is. Again, I'm not going to argue. If you guys want more information, please read up on it. But it is embarrassing that Kim's dumb ass was sitting here saying some dumb Republican speaking points, right? Blame the victim. So if I hadn't gotten in, like, you know what? I'm out of here. Meanwhile, Kim just had to pay how many million to the SEC off of a cryptocurrency scam that she was trying to run. Poor people going to jail in America. I said what I said. Another guy says to Kim, you know, in my last year of prison, they sent $100,000 to keep me in a cage. How much therapy could you provide to a grade school person for that money to keep them from getting involved in stuff? However, that's never going to happen because systematic racism, you know, it's a thing nobody in America ever wants to talk about. And racism isn't just toward Black people. I know I'm Black and I'm repping myself, but racism happens to everyone. And there's prejudice against the poor. At the end of the day, this isn't the oppression Olympics. We all experience it differently, and it's all horrible in all aspects. Okay. I know the horrors of Black America because obviously I am Black, but it's a horror show with everybody I talk to, with my friends of other races. At the end of the day, the systematic oppression, they want to help. They want to just keep them in the prison pipeline. Again, oh God, and Kim's just sitting there looking dumb. And Kim's like, you know, I believe in redemption. I believe in second chances. You were a P star that now you are a business entrepreneur. You have been involved in several scams and people have accused you of stealing several things. You literally stole from Ray J's mom, because she went to court for it, like almost $200,000 on credit card fraud, and then turned around and tried not to pay her? You are a credit card thief. You committed credit card fraud. And had it not been for who your mommy and daddy was, you would have been sent to jail. Khloe, your sister, she went to jail for, what was it, drunk driving or whatever she did? The fact that she's sitting up there, not sitting there and realizing her privilege, talking about you believe in redemption when you should be there too. That's if you believe anybody should be there. I do believe that unless it's a very, very violent crime, most people can be rehabilitated, just like Kimberly Kardashian did. She didn't go to jail for the credit card fraud. She turned her life over to adult film services, and now look, the rest is made in history. So then one of the guys at the table decides to talk about Kim's favorite subject. He's like, how'd you get into this? Because we're all wondering that. She's like, oh, I was on Twitter and I saw a video by someone made, and it was this girl that was in jail for a long time because she was like a phone mule. And I was like, how does this happen? And I said, Kim really can't give anybody shine. Kim, what happened is you saw a video that was made by two Black women lawyers that had been doing years and years of work to get people exonerated that either had harsh sentences or were innocent. You then reached out to them because you needed a storyline. You reached out to them, said you wanted to help, then proceeded to promote yourself and erase these Black women's work and make it seem like you got this girl out of jail when at the end of the day, you came in at the last stage. You didn't even get the pardon on the governor's desk. The governor, it was already on there. Now, I'm not saying Kim didn't take a role, but how sick is it that even when you're telling the story, you erase the two women and the law firm that actually did the work? But then Kim's like, I feel like, it's like, I really feel like the way I am, it's always been near and dear to my heart. And she says the most racist thing I've ever heard. She's like, and I feel like if people can show they've truly changed, why wouldn't we give them a second chance? Y'all, why is that a racist talking point? Because once you get out of jail, you've actually paid your debt to society. Isn't that how it works? We punish you, you pay your debt to society, and then we're supposed to give you a second chance. Now, when you get out, you have to prove that you're not the same person, I guess. Anyway, they said, this is from a bunch of news agencies. Kim Kardashian did help free 17 inmates, but these two women, Black women, actually did the work. Two Black female attorneys, Brittany K. Barnett and Angel Cody, are finally being given due credit for recently freeing 17 prisoners who received life without parole sentences for minor drug offenses. They acknowledged that Kim, who teamed up with them to provide financial support for the project, Kim did nothing. And again, financial support is support. But my issue with Kim, why she makes me so sick, why does everything have to be a big lie? Why do you have to come in and if you do help, you have to take all this credit? Erasing these women's work, these Black women's work. Anyway, news broke that Kim quietly freed 17 inmates and immediately became a viral story because it wasn't the first time she was involved in prison reform. This time, however, Brittany and Angela had to come forward to set the record straight about the media overlooking their hard work behind the scenes. Again, it was overlooked because that's the thing that Kim released. Again, I will say this once and I'll say it. They don't do anything out the kindness of their heart. They only do things, especially Kim, that they can benefit from. And they disgust me. You can say, oh, well, at least she did something, baby. I guess. But then one of the guys is stroking her ego, but you can tell he's being smart. He's like, it just means a lot to the men inside that you actually got involved. Yeah, because they all watching your tape. And she's like, oh, so sweet. Well, we have to take a selfie. You, a billionaire, showed up to these men, had a listening session, and then gifted them with a selfie, but you didn't in any way offer to help them, get them set up with jobs, get them working for Skims. Kim and Malika ain't ish. Neither of them are, especially because you are a job creator and you are a billionaire and you could actually put your money where your mouth is, but you don't want to do that. Again, if it's not benefiting you, you're not doing it. And if you agree with that, hey, argue with yourself. But I, for one, did I mention I found this disgusting? Okay, fine, let's move on. So then Kris goes to go meet with Khloe. She's pitching the idea of a podcast. Khloe says she doesn't want to do it because there might be a chance that she misgenders Bruce, and then that small mistake will get blown up. Khloe, misgendering somebody is not a small mistake, but not even that. Khloe basically proves that she's mad that now she wants the same things that Kourtney wants. Oh, don't believe me? Just watch. First of all, Khloe's mad that because she has the Kardashian name, because we don't know who her father's name is. I'm joking. Because she has the Kardashian name, if she says anything, she'll be dragged. But Kourtney, to much is much is given, much is deserved. Because honestly, Khloe, if you didn't have the Kardashian name, nobody would be listening to you. You'd have your original face, but you wouldn't have a ne'er-do-well baby's father. So, or would she? Because some stupid transcends all socioeconomic boundaries. Then Kris Jenner says she thinks that fear is holding Khloe back from sharing her gift with the world. Kris, do you have Khloe muted on Instagram? I mean, let's be real. She lets us know exactly what's going on in her heart every single day when she thinks something. As a matter of fact, we need Malika when she's done being traumatized from having to go sit around some Black men that were in jail. We need Malika to actually take her phone away. Khloe is afraid to say, Khloe Money, who literally has bullied people, is afraid to say, girl, okay. Then Khloe's like, anyway, it's a great opportunity, but I don't have a middleman. I don't have a management team. You're only there when the contract signed. And then like you're nowhere to help me, which is your choice because you're in your 60s. She's been taking shots at Kris's age a lot. I guess she really is mad that Kris is helping Tristan, even though you're helping him to you know what? Let's keep going. And she was like, and right now I can't take on anything else because I am trying to fix F-ups. You can't take on anything else in life because you're trying to fix Tristan, idiot. But I do understand what Khloe is saying. Khloe has a lot on her plate. She's raising Rob's child when Rob has visitation of dream because Rob is in and out of rehab and a mess up. You have Tatum and you have True, and as much as you try to act like big happy family with Tristan, we know Tristan ain't raising those kids and he probably not around. Khloe do like to fake and put on a front because she thinks she's getting back with the other women. And I get it. You can't take on any more. And plus, you promised Amar that you'd take care of Amari, but no matter how much help you have, having a special needs child in the house and dealing with Tristan probably still cheating on you and disrespecting you, it's a lot. It's a lot of weight. It's a lot. And Khloe's going through a lot. But I sat there and said, this sounds interesting because you're still mad at Kourtney, but right now you're basically repeating everything Kourtney said 2 seasons ago, that how much money is enough. I can't take all these opportunities. I have to take time with my children and my family. Like there has to be enough where business doesn't come first. How are you still mad at Kourtney when you are basically saying everything Kourtney said 2 seasons ago when you called her lazy and this and that? I'll tell you what, the nerve that Khloe and Kim think that they're the ones carrying this show when baby ratings show it's Kourtney. Anyway, Khloe goes on to say that she feels unsupportive by Kris, when Kris is on a yacht and she needs something, she can't get in touch with her, all this other stuff. And she says words out of her mouth that Kourtney said that everybody's still mad at her about. She's like, I have issues with my manager, not my mom, but my manager. And I'm sick of it. And I can't take on anything else. Girl, so you guys mean to tell us that Kourtney was right? And now you're sitting in the same situation that Kourtney was 3 years ago with the same concerns, literally verbatim. Ooh, Khloe's karma. Khloe's karma. She then went on to say, do I have one person of Good American that works for me? Khloe, you are the face of Good America. Everybody knows that Emma Gerd is the one that runs Good America. Girl, shut up. But again, she sounds a lot like Khloe. And she said, besides you, who helps me? Who can help me? And Kris is just sitting there looking at Khloe like, little girl. And let's be real. I know you're mad at Kris, but Kendall can leave Kris. Kylie can leave Kris. Kourtney's already leaving Kris. Kim, I don't know if Kim would ever leave Kris, but Khloe, if you left Kris, I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys think that Khloe could make it if she didn't have that Kardashian brand over her? I don't know. So then things start spiraling, literally, right? Khloe starts complaining to the camera people. This is it. She never listens to me. She puts a Band-Aid over everything. Blah, blah. Sounds like Kourtney. Kris is like, listen, I said, do the podcast or don't. She's sick of Khloe, right? Do the podcast or don't do the podcast. It's really up to you. Okay, let me know how it goes. But Khloe is just spiraling, literally. Then Khloe starts saying, I'm so turned off from all of it. I can't believe she's not listening to me. Girl, like I said, Khloe reminds me of those women. You will burn down heaven and hell before you actually confront Tristan. What you really are you frustrated and you're overwhelmed at home? And you should be. But at the end of the day, stop taking out on Kris because she's trying to help you. And even if Kris is not trying to help you, these are the same concerns that Kourtney has right now. And you've been dragging her for it for the past how many seasons? Yeah. Karma. So Kris basically told her to shut up. And then she's like, no, because I don't. She's like, no, Khloe, this isn't healthy. This isn't healthy for you, babe. Okay? You're spiraling. You need to come back on earth. I get it. You have all these things on your plate, but this isn't healthy, Khloe. This isn't healthy for you. Khloe doesn't know what to say. Girl, you mad at Tristan. Go home and fuss at that man. Who am I kidding? You can't fuss at Tristan because Tristan is in Houston partying right now, and you're the dummy yelling at your mom who got you and Tristan jobs about whatever. Girl, just say that you'll think about the podcast and move on. So then Khloe's in her thing and she's like, at this point, my mom doesn't understand where I'm coming from. So I'm just not going to expect anything. And the girl's like, what? And she's like, I'm just not going to expect anything. Because when you don't expect anything, you never get hurt. I think at this point, it's just a defense mechanism. And I actually felt sorry for Khloe in that time. Because at the end of the day, you're taking your issues out on Tristan with everybody. But with Tristan, you're smiling in his face and acting like you're just a soft, safe, gentle thing to be. Y'all, listen. Then Kris is like, girl, I was just trying to make you happy. If you like it, I love it. All right. And Kris is like, listen, I was just trying to do something that was in your heart, something that you wanted to do. And she's like, well, I don't have many things in my heart right now. And Kris does what I do, roll her eyes and be like, all right, girl, that's fine. Girl, get rid of Tristan. But you don't have the balls to do that because you are a weak bee. A dumb weak bee, just like you said last episode. Let's keep going. Anyway, there's no place to go because the episode's over. That was season 4, episode 6 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Khloe is tripping. Y'all, listen, I'm looking to see if this is going to be renewed again because don't get me wrong, you know I can get my giggles out of everything. I hope you enjoyed this recap, but come on, what am I saying? Khloe's going to have to show us her life because Tristan's going to embarrass her again. Y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you buying this Kim Poor Is Me? Are you buying Khloe finally seeing what Kourtney was saying? Are you buying any of this? Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.